welcome back to Odd Cylinders. I know it's been a long time, and I have some sad news. I'm selling my 2003 Audi S8. If you're new here, or if you've watched all my videos, as you know, I have done a 6-speed conversion in this, manual transmission, and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm gonna walk you around the car inside and out, kind of show you some of the things that sets this apart from many other S8s that you might see on the road. First off, this is a 2003. It's one of 300 cars imported to North America. They came in 3 color combos, 100 of each. So this is Avus Silver, which you might see, it's a pretty exclusive color. Came on the B7 RS4, the Audi TT ALMS edition, and some R8s. It's a really unique silver. It's got a lot more blue tint than regular silvers. And then I'll show you later the Oxblood Red interior. So up front, we have fog light grills on both sides. Common problem on D2s and B5s. These are just kind of clipped in, so they fall out, lose them a lot. So there's a little screw in there, can't see it. That keeps those from falling out. European option only by xenon, so a xenon high and low beam. Also with a dedicated extra halogen high LED running light. Turn signals here that I have white as running lights, amber switchback LEDs. There's a little ding here in the hood. Plate holder, I do not have the blank filler plate. Factory NOS, early S8 car, so this is the early badge, so all the badges on the car are now the early. We never got these here in the US. Similar to like the RS2, the UR, S4 and S6, and then the year 2000 B5 S4. I just like these better. Wheels, so we have some one-piece forged monoblock from CCW SP18 wheels, factory Brembo calipers for the S8, 345mm factory rotors, sporting some Continental Extreme Contact Sport tires. Mud flaps front and rear. These were available from the factory, but really hard to come by. The aft ones are embossed Audi. Little lip spoiler here, kind of similar to like the E39 M5. The other S8 badge. There are some scratches here that have been touched up with some touch-up paint, but as you can see, you can't see it. And then Super Sprint stainless steel catback exhaust with X-pipe. Sounds great. And then you have front and rear parking sensors on this 2003. Then the one option that this car doesn't have, that pretty much I don't think any of the 2003s had, is the solar sunroof. Doesn't have it, but it's literally loaded with everything else. Also have some non-dimming but Euro spherical mirrors on both sides. So built-in blind spot mirror here on the end. Step inside. Sorry for the light. Oh, Oxblood Red interior. Factory Euro only carbon trim. That, if you look at the other pictures, you'll see it has a blue weave in there. You do have folding mirrors. If you rotate that, the passenger side dips down in reverse if you put it on the right. Window locks, window switches. You actually have seat memory here. You have it on the passenger and driver side, and there's actually more on the passenger side, because on the driver's side you see you have 1, 2, and 3, and then the star is actually a memory position for the passenger seat. So if you want to move the passenger seat to a predetermined location, you can do it from the driver's side. Some Lloyd's mats here meant to match the Oxblood Red interior. 3 pedals. 6-speed manual transmission. The RNSE navigation swap. And then, like I did with the exterior badging, I also changed out the badging on the gauge cluster here to match the old style. Here you have badge, the Audi Spaceframe. This is an all aluminum car. Here you have a trunk switch, and then also there's an interior monitor, a motion sensor. So if you're gonna leave a dog in here temporarily or something, which I don't recommend doing, but if you did have something in here, or if you're at a car show with your windows down and the doors locked, you can disable the monitor there. Power seats, including power headrests and power seat belts. And then lumbar. Come around to the rear. Same thing. Power lumbar and then power headrests. And if the headrests are up, you can actually hit a switch on the dash to lower them. Heated rear seats also with center climate control. And they also have a side vent here. Pull down armrest with what could be a first aid kit. And a couple cup holders. And then you also have a center row headrest and then ski pass-through. A neat thing they did on 2003s with this little Audi exclusive embossment on the seat headrest. In the rear here, you have a power folding sunshade. You fold from the front, And also both of the rear doors, you have a manual shade. I bet you didn't know OnStar existed before GM. No longer works, but back in 2003, they did have it. Sliding, tilting sunroof, lights. You can turn on all the lights here. Home link for your garage door, mirror. There's no airbag stickers on this. You even have this handy little third visor here. And then I've got a micro USB here that you can run a dash cam or radar detector. It's actually tied into the telematics module there, so it's switched with the ignition. As you can see, all the gauges work. There is one warning light, the EPC light. Spent a good week trying to figure that out. Come to find out, it's not a real warning light. There's no other fault codes in the ECU or the ABS system. It has no power loss. It's not in limp mode. It's actually a faulty cluster. So I did swap in a spare cluster and saw that EPC light extinguish. So I know it's just this cluster that's bad. So I've got a spare cluster that I know works, but the odometer is not right. I'm going to see if I can program that to match, and then swap that in, and that EPC light will be gone. So hopefully this doesn't even matter by the time you see this auction. The navigation swap. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for playing music. So AM, FM, you have a CD, external source. You can also switch it to MP3, which uses the SD cards. So in here there's two SD cards. I use the aux input, which is cable here under the armrest. And we've got navigation here. So, a bit outdated, but it's still nice to have. 2-zone climate control, heated front and rear seats, max defrost. You can have a rest position, so this will keep the shut the car off. Hit rest, it'll circulate air for like 5 or 10 minutes after the car's shut off. But just want to show that all working. Also have the fog lights if the car's on. The fog light relay has been modified so that you can turn the fog lights without turning on the headlights. So, front and rear fog lights, traction control, flashers. This is for the rear sunshade. You can actually lower the rear headrests with that button, and then parking sensors front and rear. One of the fun things about D2s is, as you can see, everything's illuminated. Steering wheel buttons, lock, even a little light for the handle, memory seats, even the rollers for the vents are lit up. So really cool to see it at night, everything lit up. here we are driving the S8. You know, everything drives factory. Got the windows up. Turn down the AC. So with the Super Sprint exhaust, it's really like OEM plus. You can tell it's louder than factory, but it's very, very tame, which is pretty much just the right amount that you want for the S8, because it keeps the ethos of the S8, you know, quiet and comfortable, but just enough where you can tell, hey, you know, this has a little something to it. So really like the tone of the Super Sprint. So on this on-ramp, I'll give it some throttle. So I've got the windows up so you can tell how loud the exhaust is, or how quiet it is. Now it's 6th gear. Cruise, you know, that functions. Like I said, everything's factory. It's, you know, super quiet. The exhaust isn't really much louder than the factory exhaust would be right now. So I'll roll down the windows a little bit. Hopefully you don't get too much wind noise, so that way you can hear the exhaust how it is with the windows open. Super tame. Yeah, you can't even really hear the exhaust over the rest of traffic. So windows down. Here we are, windows down. I'll give it a couple revs. Bring the windows back up, show you again.